I engineered a pain-proof mobility routine just with 10 exercises, each for each joint on your body. But first, I want to mention the differences between flexibility, stretching, and mobility. And right after that, I will go with these 10 exercises that you can include into your mobility routine to do it almost every single day, so this way you really heal your pain. So let's get to these three terms. There's a big difference between telling that you're flexible, that you're gonna stretch, and then that you have mobility. Because when we talk about stretching, it's important to know that stretching is just the term of having a muscle or a joint in their eccentric position. For this reason, that's good to do as a prehab or also to avoid any type of pain or reduce any type of pain. But the problem with stretching is that sometimes we just stretch to the amount of range of motion that we are comfortable with, right? And so here comes the difference, because mobility is when we train our muscles in a full range of motion. We try to expand the range of motion of our joints and muscles. And so that's why I'm very positive with mobility, because you're doing dynamic stretches as well as some ballistic stretches that actually make you have a more free range of motion, a fuller range of motion, instead of just stretching, right? As well as mobility actually gets you into those pain points, actually train them so that your nervous system starts adapting and your pain reduces, right? And then of course we have flexibility, which is making yourself turn into a donut, literally like this little girl right here. Sorry, Will, but flexibility is basically more of how well your muscles and joints can adapt into having a fuller range of motion, right? So that's basically in short words of what these three terms mean, because I don't want to explain it in this video for 20-30 minutes and even an hour, but I want to focus mostly on mobility in this video, because as I mentioned, mobility is just training our body and training our muscles for a fuller range of motion, right? So they can become more flexible. So I want to outline you now the 10 exercises that are really effective for making your body more mobile, more flexible, less pain, even more stronger, and also even indirectly help you in your workouts, no matter if it's bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit, whatever you do. I think having a good mobility with your body and having those joints in a good state of mind, no pun intended, then will be great, right? So I'm gonna be outlining the top 10 exercises for mobility. So the first one is gonna be neck focus, and it's gonna be the cell phone fix. And this exercise, I started doing it after I just saw a video of me on a group, and I realized that I have the neck like this, a nerd neck. And so I didn't want a nerd neck anymore, even though I sometimes still have it. I do chin tucks or the cell phone fix, which basically what you're gonna do is put your chin closer to your neck, and you will feel a stretch in the back of your neck, fixing, of course, your nerd neck posture, as I just mentioned. You can try to do this for like 10 reps, around 3 sets of 10 reps every single day. Try to hold that position when you feel the stretch in your back, so this way you actually train your neck and actually you have a better posture on your neck. The top 9 is going to be the scapular pull-ups. This is a very great exercise if you have any sort of shoulder pain. You just get to a bar, and this is the exercise that you actually need some equipment. I think the only one in this whole list, which is a pull-up bar. Maybe you already have it on your home, but what you're gonna do is just hang up. You're gonna do pull-ups in the initial position, of course, where your arms are fully extended. Instead of doing a normal pull-up, what you're gonna do is drive your shoulder blades back, and without bending your elbows, your whole body is gonna raise while you lift your whole body with your contraction of your shoulder blades into your back. And this is a very great exercise because you are mobilizing all those shoulder joints and all those shoulder muscles around you, as well as the traps, your neck muscles on the back as well, and also having a good spine health. This also help you with having a good scapular and thoracic spine health. So I have done this since I started lifting weights, because I remember when I bought this course from Jeremy Ethier, which I haven't got without a year without doing this exercise, because it's very effective, especially when you have some sort of pain on your shoulders. So top 8 is gonna be an elbow focused rear hand clasp, and this is another great exercise. It's A bit more of a stretch, yes, it's kind of a stretch, but what you're gonna do is try to hold this position for at least 30 seconds and then switch it to the other arm and then switch it again to your arm that you were training. Try to do this 3 times for each arm for 30 seconds, because the thing you're gonna do here is first put the arm that will not be stretched behind your back, while the other one, it's on an overhead tricep extension position. And later, drive this hand into your other hand, which is the one that you have in your back, trying to hold your hands together. Now, if you can't hold your hands together, that's completely fine. That's because you're a beginner doing this. Try to do it with a towel, and try to grab the towel when your grip, it's narrower and narrower until your hands touch each other, and that way you can then grab your hands. And this is a great exercise for stretching the triceps as well as your elbows, making your elbows a bit more flexible. So this way, when you're doing some sort of triceps extensions or bicep exercises, you don't have that acute elbow pain that you may have after doing some very hard sets, right? So I think this exercise, you should do it at least 3 times a week, at least twice a week, because it's very effective, especially for having good elbow joint health. Now, the top 7 is gonna be a wrist focused one. Is gonna be the hand circles, the easiest one in the whole video in my opinion. So you're gonna grab both of your hands and do wrist rotations, but hear me out, do them slowly, please. Do them slowly, have patience in doing this. Try to do 10 circles, 1 in one direction, then 1 in the other direction, and try to do 3 sets, so 3 times, for example, each day. I do this on my warm-ups because it's really effective for warming up, especially when you're gonna do heavy lifts like the bench press. So I think that mobilizing your forearm muscles as well makes your hands better if you ride a lot or you need your grip strength for some sort of work that you do, physical work that you do. I think this stretch in your hands really relaxes those muscles and keep them strong for whatever task you do, especially also if you type a lot in the computer for multiple hours a day, right? The top 6 is gonna be a spine focused one. I think one of my favorites, and it's the cat cows. You start in a weird position, but in my opinion is one of the best exercises that you can do for having a very good spine health. And what you're gonna do is to maintain a great spine mobility, go to a 4 position or a cow position that having a neutral spine, right? Imagine that now a rope is pulling you up, pulling your thorax up, and at the same time what you're gonna do is driving down your head and lifting your thorax up, and this way you're gonna feel a stretch on the whole spine. And then this is the cat position. Then you're gonna go to the cow position by driving your head up and extending your abs and contracting your lower back muscles. This is an exercise that you also should do it very slow. Focus on really feeling the muscles in this area, even the spine as well, so you actually are doing it in the correct way. Don't do this fast. This is not for hypertrophy, all right? This is for mobility, for making sure that you slowly stretch, you slowly release the tension right on your bones and your muscles and your joints, right? Now, the top 5 is gonna be a hip focused one, and it's internal hip rotations. I think this is a woman's favorite, in my opinion. I see a lot of women doing this on the gym after their workouts, and it's very simple to do. You get into a seated position on the floor by putting your feet at level of your shoulders, also in a wide stance as you can. Try to not bend too much your knees. Dorsiflex your feet or put your feet up, so this way you guard for any pain you may experience, and then drive one of your knees inside to you and down, and then do it on the other side, and try to do this for at least 10 reps each side for 3 sets. I think this is another great exercise, not only for hip health, also if you have some sort of knee pain, this is gonna align your hips better and mobilize your hips better, so this way the tension on your knee from your hip reduces from time to time. All right, so very good exercise as well. Top part is gonna be for the lumbar spine as well as your lower back, and it's gonna be the 90 hip lean-ins. I got this one from Athlean-X, which is a very great exercise that I started doing when I had some sciatica pain back in 2022, which really derailed me a bit from squats and from heavy. It's incredible that my sciatic pain just got away after 2 months. of doing this consistently. So how do you do this exercise? I didn't tell you, but you do it by activating your hips. All right, so you just put yourself in a 90-degree knee angle with your chest up, and slowly you're gonna go to your 2 o'clock or around 45 degree from your front, and slowly lean into the front until you feel a very good stretch in the gluteus maximus part of your body, right? So again, this is to do it slowly. Try to go when you feel that stretch. Don't go any further and then go back. Then again, slowly go until you feel the stretch and then go back again. This is also to do it very slowly. We don't want to feel any sort of pain. If we feel pain, that means that we're maybe doing it wrong, maybe extending or bending our back, which is something that you should not do in this exercise. All right, the top 3 is going to be a knee focused one for your general knee pain and some knee pain that you may be experiencing. I'm experiencing some knee pain sometimes, especially when I run, which I should not do. And it's the wall ankle mobilizations. This is a very beginner exercise, but then you can later try to do a more type of knees over toes guy exercise, where you just drive your knees above your toes and you just stretch, very deeply stretch those tibia muscles, and your knee really becomes very flexible. That's something to progress. But as a beginner, maybe you haven't done this exercise before, you're gonna get in a front of a wall and keeping your feet planted. Don't drive your feet above the floor. Keep your feet planted always. Drive your knee to the front until you feel a stretch on your tibia muscles in the front part of your shins. Those are the muscles that you should actually feel the stretch. This way you are mobilizing also your ankle, as well as reducing the pain on your knees, which may be a pain that comes from a lot of load on your ankles, which are very immobilized, right? So this is also a great exercise that you can do after your workouts or in a prehab routine as well. It's amazing, and you can do it in some sort of variables. You can try to drive your knee in instead of out, or drive your knee out as well, depending on where your pain is. It's incredible, but do your own research in that. I'm not a doctor. So top 2 is going to be an ankle focus one, and it's the tibial rotations. Before showing you this exercise, please do this slowly and with a lot of caution. I think this is the most risky exercise of making you fall and losing your balance. And so to do this exercise, it's important that you grab yourself into something so you can have balance. So the ankle you're gonna work is gonna be planted on the floor, while the other leg, you're gonna put it, your opposing foot, you're gonna put it behind the knee of the leg you're gonna work, right? And then with the leg that is behind your knee, or that it's the one that your knee is bent, you're gonna drive your knee left and right. And now try to count 5 seconds when you drive your knee to each side. And this way you're gonna feel a deep stretch on those tibia muscles. And this way you really mobilize your ankles and maybe even help you a lot with that horrible knee pain that you may have been experiencing, right? And the last one, of course, one of the best exercises in my opinion, is gonna be the whole body focus one, and it's gonna be the world's greatest stretch. I got this one also from Jeremy Ethier, and if you already saw that video, but I'm gonna tell you also how to do it, and it's very cool, very awesome exercise. You just stretch, I think, your whole body, literally, I think so. So get into a lunge position with your arms aligned with your front foot, and also with your back foot with your knee above the floor, so your knee should not be touching the floor, right? Then with the arm inside of you, so in between your outer arm and your leg on the front, you're gonna drive that arm to the sky just very slowly, twisting your torso and then going back down and trying to do a thread and needle, right? Passing your arm through your other arm that is planted on the floor, and you're gonna feel a very good stretch. All right, so try to do this for 30 seconds each side, and later after this, what you're gonna do after you finish each side, after going to the other side, what you're gonna do is drive your knee in and out, so side to side, and this way you also are stretching and mobilizing those ankle muscles as well as your hips, which is a very great exercise that I really recommend you doing. So my final thoughts on this is that if you are not experiencing any sort of pain and you don't do mobility exercises, that's great. You may are young like me, you are maybe a beginner, but trust me that after a while if you don't stretch enough, if you don't focus on mobility too, and because it's part of your joint health, then you're gonna start experiencing some pain here and there and some sort of joints, and it's gonna be mentally taxing because you're gonna think on your pain and how you're gonna want to fix it, right? So I really engineered this routine just for you with these 10 exercises that you can do anywhere, so this way you can always feel good and feel pain-free, right? And so I really believe that if you have a better mobility, you're gonna have better workouts. So always try to do this routine for at least twice a week, or even way more than that will be amazing. Even daily if you have the time. I think this only takes 15 minutes, so you don't have any time to lose, right? So if you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and also I want to show you my video of the 6-step process to having the best abs right over here, so check it out.